not prepared!
Welcome to another Top 5 with Kris 05, guys. The new mini set came out 3 days ago, so it's time to give you guys what are the best performing decks. I'm gonna go over the 5 best performing decks with a mulligan guide, win rates, and all the good information for them, but we will also check out what are the other best performing archetypes for each class, so stick around to the end. If you enjoy what I'm doing, definitely drop a like and subscribe, and also consider hiring me for some Hearthstone coaching. And you can be sure I will do my best to make you a better Hearthstone player. Now, let's get into the decks. I just want to say, I'm not gonna discuss anything about Bioluminescence Shaman, because that's obviously bugged, and you guys should really be staying away from that deck, because it's pretty scummy to be abusing a bug like that. I know it's Blizzard's fault, but when it's a bug this obvious, like, you really should be staying away from things like that, and just concentrate on real decks that will stick around. So yeah, the first deck on the list is again going to be Pirate Thief Rogue. Pirate Thief Rogue is really strong right now, and I have been using it to climb easy ranks as well as coach people to Legend with it too, and it has been going pretty good. The deck didn't really receive any new cards, and it's still working pretty solidly, being able to drop 1 or 2 gnolls as soon as turn 2, and also being able to flood the board with more than 12 worth of stats as soon as turn 3. The deck has insane early game tempo, and you also have a lot of mid-range OTK potential too, or just straight up more tempo. It has great recovery tools, and it consistently pulls out your gnolls, and you also have access to some random generated cards from other classes, which can be pretty high rolly. I've already made a detailed guide about this deck, so you can definitely check it out if you want to learn more about Thief Rogue. The only different card in this list is Vanessa Van Cleef, and you can be sure she is very cuttable, and you can swap her out for the Cutlass Courier I have been using, which I really like how it pans out, but you can swap it out for anything you like. For the matchups, here are some stats from the previous 30 days, so it's not exactly from the new meta, but you still get a good idea. Holy Paladin might be a problem, as well as Charge Warrior, but all in all, you should be able to climb very easily. Mulligan-wise, there are only a few cards you really want to be keeping. When going first, you want your tradable cards, with Cutlass being the better option, your Gnolls, your Shroud of Concealment, and if you already have some of those, you could even keep something like Vessel. If you already have Vessel, you can also keep Prep. But definitely don't get baited keeping suboptimal cards like, what the hell, Mr. Smite when going first? I mean, I get it, you're not gonna top deck it, since it's the only neutral card you're running, but it's not that big a punish even if you do, so I would definitely not hold Mr. Smite if my hand is not literally perfect. When going second is pretty much the same. Again, Gnoll, Asheron Vessel, Prep, your tradable cards, and your Shroud of Concealment would be your best bets. If you already have the Vessel, you can also keep Gone Fishing, and if you're curving out perfectly, I guess you can also keep Krakatoa because it's such a good recovery tool. And you can play it as soon as turn 4 actually, if you get a lucky Reconnaissance. But yeah, again, for the early turns, you're trying to get your Gnolls as soon as possible. For other good rogue decks, we also have more pirate rogues, including lists with Hook Tusk, which is actually doing very well right now because you can break combos like that, and you have a lot better odds against control-y matchups. And there are all sorts of iterations of other pirate thief rogues. And you can also try Mine Death Rattle Rogue, which also works wonderfully. On the number 2 spot, we have a new archetype, which is Murloc Shaman, and it received some pretty powerful tools. The 2 new cards we got here is Clownfish, which is insanely strong, discounting your next 2 Murlocs by 2, and we also have a Tideloss Burrower, which summons a copy of a Murloc you dredged, which is again pretty amazing. We're running the standard good Murloc package, and we also have Nothing Can Stop Us so you can buff him nicely, and Bloodlust so you can have some nice finisher. Gorlock Ravager draws you a bunch of Murlocs, and you also have Brucon at the end, so you can have better odds in longer games. Wildpaw Caverns is also excellent because it has a lot of stats for the mana cost, and you also have Cookie the Cook, which can be an excellent survivability helper, and let's not forget you can also buff it a lot with your Nothing Can Stop Us, so it can become pretty powerful. Matchup wise, Pirate Rogue's not gonna be great for you, as well as Beast Hunter, also Holy Paladin and Curse Warlock might be problem, as well as Control Warrior. We don't have enough stats to really say if it's too good or too bad, but so far it has a pretty positive win rate. Mulligan wise, this is what it looks like when you're going first, and you basically want to keep your good 1-drop Murlocs. Clownfish is always gonna be great for you, and even Gorlock Ravager might make a lot of sense, especially if you discount it by 2 with the Clownfish. On the coin, this is what it looks like, and again, Clownfish is at the top. Pyromancer Flurgle also makes a lot of sense so you can recover nicely. Again, good 1-drops. Lush Water could be better here so you can recover on the board as well. And that's probably it. But you can definitely look for other synergies for your starting few turns. For other good Shaman lists, Burn Shaman is still gonna probably be good even after they fix the goddamn card, but I would definitely not advise you to bug abuse right now, so yeah, let's just forget about Burn Shaman for a few days till Blizzard can actually take care of this crap. On the number 3 spot, we have Naga Demon Hunter, which got some cool new tools that really help it stand out again. The 2 new cards we got from the mini set for Demon Hunter are Fossil Fanatic, which draws you a lot of cards, especially with multi-strike, and we also have Herald of Chaos, which is an excellent stabilization tool that helps you survive longer. You have Carry a Fell Soul so you can copy Zillag if you're lucky, and we also have Kurtrus here so you can have a lot of damage later on. Lady Steno can do a ton of damage, but she can also be used as a tempo play, and you have a ton of hand damage as well as some good board pressure minions. Matchup wise, warriors are not gonna be great for you, but everything else seems pretty decent. For the mulligan, we don't really have too much stats, but Battleswarm Vanguard, the weapon, Fossil Fanatic, your 1-drop Naga, the Sigil. Lady Steno can also be a nice tempo play against some matchups, but be careful what you keep her for. Going second, the situation is similar, but Keria becomes a lot more keepable, as well as Kurtrus. Other good Demon Hunter lists would be Fell Demon Hunter, which also has a pretty positive win rate, and it's kinda close to the Naga Demon Hunter list, but you just curve out into Jace at the end. On the number 4 spot, we have Holy Paladin, which also receives some pretty nice goodies. It's basically only one new card, but it really helps it draw a ton of cards, which really helps. You can use Myrmidon with a bunch of Holy Mackie rolls, and that's gonna be a lot of card draw for cheap. You still have a ton of control tools, and you still have some OTK potential with Mistress Might at the end, buffed with Lightforced Carriel or with your Garden's Grace. Oh, we actually also have Light Ray in here, which again is a new card, and it fits the deck pretty well. Being able to cheat out this for 0 mana is pretty decent, and you shouldn't have problem doing that relatively early. Matchup wise, not that much stats yet, Control Warrior is not gonna be great, but the rest looks pretty good. Mulligan wise, you are a control deck, so you gotta be careful what you keep against each particular class. Both the Carols are probably gonna make the cut a lot of the time, Knight of the Anointment as well. When going second you can keep Samuro, Bannerman is probably always gonna be a keep, and the rest I'd assume it's matchup dependent. Vicar also probably makes the cut though. For other Paladin lists, we still have Mech Paladin being pretty good, and Hand Buff Paladin is also going strong. Big Paladin so far is a bait. And on the number 5 spot, again we have Control Warrior, which is still pretty solid, and it also receives some pretty cool new stuff, with Igneous Lava Gorger being the best one, and you also have room for a couple of title Revenants, which feel a little bit pricey, but that's a lot of armor, a lot of stats, and the 5 damage ain't no joke either. This is one of the best performing Control Warrior decks out there right now, and you're also running Alexstrasza in here so you have better odds of getting a ton of armor out of your Lava Gorger, and you also have a Rustler Viper so you can break some weapons. Other than that, the list looks pretty standard. Matchup wise, you don't have too much stats just yet, but it's probably gonna be the same situation like the old Control Warrior. Mulligan wise, again, it's gonna matter what you're playing against, but if you want to control the board, you're gonna want your Buckler with your Shield Shatter. From the Depths is always gonna be a keep, and if you have that already, you could even consider keeping Finley. Outrider's Axe also a pretty good idea, and Ingenious Lava Gorger and maybe the Heavy Plate and Rukara probably make the cut a lot of the time too. For other good warrior decks, Charge Warrior is also going neck and neck with Control Warrior, and Quest Pirate Warrior is still positive even though it's not the powerhouse it used to be. That's it for the 5 decks, now let's check out the classes we haven't mentioned. Starting off with Celestial Druid for Druid, which is the only populated list so far for the last 3 days, so we don't have too much stats for that. And we don't really have any new cards in here, so there's that too. With Hunter, Face Hunter is actually doing mighty strong right now. And we also have Beast Hunters doing well too, but we're not really seeing any new cards in these ones, so there's that. For Mage, we have Amulet Mage being the best performer right now, but it's not really that great because it's only 53%. Naga Mage and Mech Mage are also above 50, but not by much. For Priest, Naga Priest is the best performer supposedly, and Boar Priest is still hanging in there as well, and in Top Legend it's still doing strong, but it has a very high skill cap. And for Warlock, Murloc Warlock is supposedly the best performer, and Curse Warlock is under 50% right now, so there's that. So that's gonna be it for this video guys, hope this helps you figure out what you want to be playing in the new mini set meta. Thanks for watching, I'm Kris05 and I'll see you in my next video, or stream.